Hello, Jan here. Remember me? Poppy's Creations. Today I'm doing a favour for a friend. She asked me to make some curtains for her. So that's what I'm doing. Hope you enjoy watching. Hope you've got yourself a cup of tea. And let's get going. But anyway, a friend of mine asked me if I'd make some curtains for her. It's not quite the same as normal making curtains. She bought some curtains from someone, and when they arrived they didn't have the curtain tape at the top, which is a bit bizarre how they can sell it as curtains when they're not complete. So that's you know, and she asked me if I'd do it, obviously, and I said, well, that's fine, I've got some curtain tape. And do you think I can find that tape? It's a big reel. I even showed it on my sewing room tour, I think. I just cannot think where it is. I'm just hoping I've not been stupid enough to put it in the charity box at the dump. Anyway, it just so happened that Sharon had some curtains that she'd bought in the UK last, where she'd got curtain tape on the curtains she bought, but she doesn't want curtain tape on them. I don't know if they can do them if they do them anywhere else, but here you can buy these hooks that go on the rings that you put on a pole that are like a clip, like a peg. She wants those on them, so she just said to use that. So I sat for a while and took all the curtain tape off, so I now have all of that. I didn't realise at the time, but there were two different curtains from two different places, so the curtain tape is different from both, but they obviously still do the same job, and I just hope they work the same for my friend. So I'm going to get on with that now. But say this is all unpicked from those curtains. So there's another bit of a... Is that an upcycle or a recycle? I think it's an upcycle. No, it's a recycle because I'm using it for the same purpose, just in a different... Oh, I don't know, it's confusing. Also, because my friend had got them obviously the size that she wanted, I said, I'm going to have to turn over the top for the curtain tape, so you're going to lose some length. And she'd not really given that a thought. But then as she was handing them to me, she had a sudden thought that the hem is about the same width. It turns out it's slightly smaller, but we thought it was about the same width as the curtain tape. So she said hang them upside down, because I don't know if you can tell, but the pattern, really, there isn't a right or wrong way for it to hang. So I said, well, if she's happy for me to do that, that's what I'll do. So it's made my job a little bit easier, because I'm literally going to attach the tape to that. And realistically, it shouldn't take too long, but I hate saying things like that because that's when things go wrong, don't they? So say, it's just another example of being able to upcycle, recycle. Yep, I'm glad I can help my friend out. Let's get on and pin this on. Pray that I've got enough. I have to, hands up, I've not actually measured, but I don't think there's a lot of difference between these curtains and the curtains I took the tapes from. So there we go. Right, pins. I did find another bit of tape that I had around somehow. I don't know if I took that off another piece of curtain or whether it was another bit of another piece that had been acquired somewhere. Anyway, so with the curtain tape, you've got your 3 strands on the end, which you all know, but just to make sure they're sticking out, and you need to tie them on one end so that when you gather from the other end, they don't pull through. So right now I'm going to attaching it on here. I think this one should be long enough. If these tapes do happen to be not long enough, I'm not going to be able to carry on. I'll have to do it at another time. I don't think my friend's in any rush. So they're very sort of boho, these curtains, and it suits her style. She's not the sort of person to have plain things. She likes lots of bright colours. Just thought I'd mention my last video where I made the Mickey Mouse bag. It wasn't until after I'd finished editing and everything that I suddenly thought about copyright why I didn't think of it before, I don't know, but so I double checked all about the copyright, and there is still a copyright for Disney Mickey Mouse, and it apparently finishes though at the end of next year, 2023. So if only I was doing it next year, I'd be okay. But I'm not reselling. I've just making it for the grandchildren, so shouldn't be a problem. And I've made a point of saying that on the screen, that I'm not reselling, I'm not profiting from Disney. Hopefully that's okay. And what I'm going to do is pin it on all of them before I start sewing. have to take care not to stitch over the strings, obviously, as you won't be able to move them, so make sure they're held back away from the stitching. Again, even going down here, be careful not to sew across the string. Well, that's that done. 4 pairs of curtains. Now got curtain tape on them. I have to confess, curtains are not my favourite. They're quite basic, because basically it's just a square and you're putting curtain tape on them. But my hate about them is if they're a big, heavy, basically good quality curtain, you need a huge table and a lot of space to do them and to make sure you put them together square. Of course you can crawl around on the floor, which is not my favourite, especially at my age, and so I avoid them if I can, but when a friend asks it's very difficult to say no. So I'm glad I've done that. These were easier because there's quite a lightweight curtain and not too big, so I was able to manage to do it here on my little table here basically, so I wasn't too difficult. But that's worth bearing in mind if you decide you want to make curtains. Have I got the space to lay them out? Have I got measuring tools big enough and long enough to measure what I need? But I haven't got an awful lot of space, so I won't do them very often, but as I said before, I'm happy to be able to help my friend. So not the most exciting video for you this time, but it just shows you even the simplest things can be a little bit complicated. Hey, so I'll see you next time.